Today, Chelmswood Junction is going to get his signals automated. Roll the intros. Hello and welcome back to Chelmswood Junction. I'm Peter. Today, as the title suggests, we are going to be getting the signals on my railway automated. Now, how we're going to do that is I'm going to be using the Heathcote Electronics Mas Sequencer board. So without further ado, we're going to get down to the workbench and have a look to see what we need to do. So here we are down at the workbench level, and as we have got on the board, we've got the actual Heathcote Electronics Mas Sequencer. We've got a 4-aspect Burcote signal. This one has got a fault on the red light, but the other 3 lights do work, so you will be able to see this up and running. But this Mas Sequencer is not going to be powering this one. It's going to be powering another one that I'm going to show you in a second. What you're going to need to put this together is one little screwdriver, flat-headed, a multi-voltage adapter. Now this one is set to 12 volts, and obviously if you're buying one of those, they usually have the connector, so I have cut the connector off, got the wires ready to go into the Mas Sequencer. So without further ado, let's get the power source into the Mas Sequencer. Now this is polarity conscious, and I've already done a quick test bed off camera, and I know that the black one goes to one side. Now you've got a board here with 6 connections. At the moment, all we need is these first 2 here. So without further ado, I'm going to try and do this over the camera. Put that into the hole, and obviously screw it up. And put the other one in. Carefully does it. There we go. Push it in. And screw it up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the signal out of here, and I'm going to get it ready for you guys. So give me 2 seconds while I get the signal out. So on this Burcote 4-aspect signal, we have 5 wires. You have a white, 1 yellow, a red, a green, and a black. Now, like I said, I have already done a test run on this just to make sure everything was working fine. And the white one is your common negative. So let's just get that one ready, and these are the holes that they're going to go in. Now the common negative goes into the bottom one. Just try and get that in and screw it up. So that's the white one done and out the way. Next one is the red. And like I said, guys, this red isn't working. I have spoken to the shop where I've got these from, and hopefully they're sending me out a spare one, or a new one that works, hopefully. So put the red into the bottom, and the second one, when it goes in, let's just get it straightened up a bit. Bit tricky, guys. Let me pause the camera, guys, and get the wires in. So as you can see, guys, I've now got all the wiring just for the Mas Sequencer ready to go. Now, like I said, the white one is the common negative that goes to the bottom. Then you have your reds, the single yellow, your green, and the black one is the double yellow. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it upside down so it's at least facing the right way. And I'm going to try and get the signal in, like so. Ooh, just getting a bit out of hand. Hold on, let me just get this at a better angle. Right, now I'm going to try and plug this in. Like I said, guys, this is a multi-voltage adapter, and I have got it set to 12 volts. Make sure you have got it set to 12 volts, and make sure you have put the wires in the correct way. So without further ado, let's plug her in and fire it up. Now as you can see, it's gone straight to green. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trip the sensor. The actual red came on then. And hopefully, there you go, there's a single yellow. And there's your double yellow. And now your green. And I'm going to trip it again. Single. Double yellow. And then to green. So that is the actual board working. So we know the board works perfectly fine. We know that this signal is a bit naughty. So we just quickly got to scroll through that once again. One yellow. There's your double. And then your green aspect. So the next stage is to get this Mas Sequencer set under your boards. So as you guys know, this 2-aspect signal and the two over this way are connected to the ECOS and run digitally. This is the 4-aspect that I'm going to be hooking up to the Mas Sequencer. Now, as you can see in the middle of the track there, that is where I've decided I'm going to put the Mas Sequencer's sensor. And what you've got to remember is, guys, it has to go straight up into the boards. So I've piloted a drill hole so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off, and then I'm then going to get my drills out and my Dremel and make that hole big enough to fit the Heathcote Electronics sensors. So as you can now see, guys, the hole itself is been drilled out and filed. So the two parts of my sequencer can fit through those holes. So now I'm going to take you under the baseboards, hopefully, fingers crossed it's going to work, and show you how to actually fit this in. So here we are underneath the baseboard, guys, and there's the wires from the 4-aspect signal. I've got the Mas Sequencer in my hand. I've done the hole, so let's now try and get this into the hole. Hopefully I've made the hole big enough. Sorry if my hands are in the way, guys. Going to try and push this all the way. It looks like I've got it there. And yep, now that is in. So all I need to do now is I'm going to quickly pause the camera, guys, get a couple of screws and a screwdriver, get this screwed up, and then we'll see how I go to wire it up. So while I was off camera, guys, I decided that I would do the wiring up underneath the baseboards off camera, as I showed you at the beginning on how to actually wire the signal into the boards. So the signal is all now ready to go. Mas Sequencer is already in, screwed to the baseboard and wired up. So without further ado, let's see if it actually works. And straight away we have a green light. Now, like I said, the sensor is just down here, so I'm going to now trip it. As you see, it goes to red, single yellow, then a double, and the green. Now the sequence of the lights going from the red down through to the green is done on a timer, and that is one thing I did forget to show you on the Mas Sequencer. There is a little very tiny dial that you can dial down. You can either make it go faster, or as I've done, I've turned it down a little bit to make it go at this speed. Hopefully at this speed the signal should go back to green roughly as the train gets nearer the signal. But that's the plan, and as you can see, it is working perfectly fine. So now obviously the proof of the pudding is, will the train actually trip it? So let's see and find out. As you can see, it's now gone to red, and it will stay on red all the while the train is going over that sensor, so it keeps tripping it. And as soon as the last coach clears, which is about now, I'll speed up a little bit. So as we can see, the signal has gone back to green, and by the looks of things, we are definitely going to be having the timer set to approximately the right time, but we could slow it down a bit more. Let's see what happens on the next run. So we go to reds. We have the 1 yellow, the 2 yellow, and back to green, and the train is only virtually just gone past the halfway point of the circuit. So we'll see the train come around one more time to trip the signal, and then we'll go to the conclusions. It's just coming through the station now. As you can see, it trips it perfectly well. So now Chelmswood Junction has now got automated signals. So for the conclusion of the Heathcote Electronics Mas Sequencer board, would I recommend it for another model railway? Absolutely yes. It is a little bit fiddly actually making the hole for the sensors to go up through, but once you've mastered how to do that, it's going to be plain sailing. Like you said, you haven't got to go and get an expensive transformer to power these. You can quite easily go to places like Wilkinson's, Poundland, get a multi-voltage adapter, put it onto 12 volts, and the Mas Sequencer board works absolutely fine. With regards to the actual signals themselves, the Econ and Burco signals always come with a resistor. I don't know what voltage the resistor is or ohms, so I'm not a technical guy when it comes to electronics, but you don't really need them because the actual Mas Sequencer has already got the resistors built in, so they won't go blowing the bulbs or the LEDs or anything like that. How much did it cost me? I think it cost me just under £20 for the Mas Sequencer, and I think it was about under £18 for the second one, which I will be installing. I'm not going to do a video on the second one. It's basically exactly the same. It's just obviously an extension of the Mas Sequencer. I'm going to be moving forward with these. I'm going to get another 2 boards, so I have got a complete circuit of 4 signals working under the Mas Sequencer on one line, and the other 3 main lines are only going to have 3 aspect signals. So I'm going to get the 3 aspect Mas Sequencers for the other 3 main lines, and those will only have 3 signals in the loop, I believe, if I remember rightly. So going forward, yes, I'm going to be getting more of these Heathcote Electronics Mas Sequencer boards. Would I recommend them? Highly, definitely recommend them. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Sorry, excuse me. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please as always hit that like button down on the left hand side. If you want to carry on watching videos from my channel, there should be a link coming up here and here. If you're a subscriber to my channel, great big thumbs up. Hope you're enjoying the content as usual, and I hope you enjoy future content. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome aboard my channel, and I hope you are enjoying content as well. If you want to become a subscriber, that is entirely up to you. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button on the right hand side. Until the next time, guys, look after yourselves, protect your loved ones, but above all, happy modelling, and bye bye from Chelmswood Junction.